As chair of the commission, I call this meeting of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission to order at 10:07 a.m. This Zoom webinar is live streamed on YouTube on the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission YouTube channel. For anyone in the public watching who would prefer to watch via a different platform than they are currently using, please visit our social media at Redistricting MI. Our live stream today includes closed captioning, ASL interpretation, and Spanish, Arabic, and Bengali translation services will be provided for effective participation in this meeting. Email us at redistricting@michigan.gov for additional viewing options or details on accessing language translation services for this meeting. People with disabilities. People with disabilities needing other specific accommodations should also contact redistricting@michigan.gov. This meeting is being recorded and will be made available at michigan.gov/MICRC for viewing at a later date. This meeting is also being transcribed, and those closed caption transcripts will be made available and posted on the michigan.gov/MICRC website and written public comment submissions. There's also a public comment portal that may be accessed by visiting michigan.gov/MICRC. This portal can be utilized to post maps and comments which can be viewed by both the Commission and the public. Members of the media who may have questions before, during, or after the meeting should direct those questions to Edward Woods III, Executive Director for the Commission, at woodse3@michigan.gov or 517-331-6309. For the public watching and the public record, I will turn to the Department of State staff to take note of the commissioners present. Good morning, Sarah Reinhart.
Good morning, commissioners. It's so lovely to see everyone here in person. Commissioners, if you could say present when I call your name. If you are attending today's meeting remotely, please announce during roll call that you are attending remotely and disclose where you are attending from. I will call on commissioners in alphabetical order, starting with Doug Clark.
Present. I'm attending today's meeting remotely from Huntington Beach, California.
Juanita Curry.
Present.
Anthony Eade.
Present.
Brittany Kellum. Rhonda Lang. Steve Lett.
Present, attending from Lee County, Florida.
Bill Orton.
Present.
MC Rothman.
Present.
Rebecca Satella.
Present.
Janice Follett.
Present.
Aaron Wagner. Richard Weiss.
Present.
Dustin Witches.
Present.
10 commissioners are present and there is a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Reinhart. As a reminder to the public watching, you can view the agenda at www.michigan.gov/MICRC. I would now entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Witches. Second, Commissioner Orton. Is there discussion or debate on the motion? Second, and the agenda be adopted. All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 All opposed, please raise your hand and say nay. The ayes prevail. The motion is adopted. Without objection, we will begin the public comment portion to the agenda topic, pertaining to the agenda topics portion of our meeting. Hearing no objection, we will now proceed with public comment. Individuals who have signed up and indicated they would like to provide live remote public commentary to the Commission will now be allowed to do so. I will call your name and our staff will unmute you. If you are on a computer, you will be prompted by the Zoom app to unmute your microphone and speak. Do I have that right? Do we have a live comment or is it all remote? I think we're at remote only. Okay. So I'll just continue. If you're on the phone, so say that the host wants you to speak and prompt you to press *6 to unmute. I will call on you by name, or because we have two people, so I will call on you by name. Also, technical issues or do not hear from 5 seconds, we will move on to the next person in line and then return to you after they are done speaking. If your audio still does not work, you can email redistricting@michigan.gov and we will help you troubleshoot so you can participate during the next public comment period or at a later meeting. You will have 2 minutes to address the commission. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the timer. First time to speak is Mr. James Gallant.
Hello, James Gallant, Marquette County Suicide Prevention Coalition. These are my opinions. I hope you can hear me because you were all garbled on this end a little bit. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess where we're at now between us, you know, we can get to the business now, you and I, the commission and myself. We have a case in controversy, which is the rules of procedure. And the rules of procedure that Commissioner Lett did not acknowledge that was from before from the Commission on Legislative Apportionment, because in August 30th, 2018, the Supreme Court had determined that this commission, the Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission, was not created by the amendment to the Constitution, which this commission and others, it's been reported in the news, it's been provided to the court to said that the amendment created this commission. That is not true. That is our case of controversy here. This is what I'm preparing to go to court and get the court to decide whether or not this is new or this is the old commission, and this commission has to follow those rules. You just today, by resolution, acknowledge the rules of procedure from the prior commission, which it was already in the Constitution, and then we can move forward. And I will be giving my formal opportunity for mediation. So you folks, we could go to mediation, we could work out what we agree to. Because I noticed that you folks didn't really acknowledge not one thing that I ever said, not the documents, not the rules, not anything. So that's how I know that I'm probably right. Because if you acknowledged anything, it would change everything for you and it would change the narrative. So please consider that. Now, and I think this is happening all through the Department of State, because the Board of State Canvassers, I just received from Mike Brady a FOIA request and I appealed that and I'm going through the processes. And it seems like they don't have any rules either. And our county, all your county board of canvassers, they have no rules. They all downloaded the rules. This was about 40 years ago.
Thank you for your comments and addressing the commission. Next in line is Mr. David Allen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. My name is David Allen from Marquette, Michigan. Thank you for the opportunity to address the commission. I'm commenting because the MICRC is now to that point where they're addressing lessons learned. I've watched hundreds of hours of your meetings in real time. I've analyzed the draft and final maps for many hours. And I have 3 comments about your process and its results that I'd like to convey. One, I'm deeply appreciative that there was not partisan bickering among the commissioners. I realize that there were at times personality conflicts, and I realize that those may have been difficult, but I think it's quite key for the future that future commissions embrace this idea that you are first and foremost a commission and not, partisans, there to fight. I think that's very key for the future. Second, I want to say that I think that the radical transparency required by the Constitution worked, even though it made your jobs much more difficult. I think you should advise future commissions to embrace this transparency rather than try to find ways to make their own lives easier. I think that worked quite well in increasing your credibility and getting buy-in from the public. Finally, I think you did an admirable job of preventing outside groups and your own experts from steamrolling the commissioners who are necessarily amateurs at doing all of this, prevented any hidden agendas from coming through. I think that's fantastic. But I do think there may be opportunities for future commissions to leverage their own experts better. I think that the commission can set very clear, firm guidance for experts and turn those experts loose to create multiple examples, and then have the commissioners deliberate on those examples, repeat and iterate. For example, you might ask them to give several starting point maps that follow all the criteria, but then explain to you how the different examples differ and how you might tackle those. This one emphasizes COIs, this one emphasizes partisan fairness, for instance. You could take an existing map and have them preserve the current version, but only change one thing, partisan fairness. Keep the COI together, keep that county together. Change.
to those lessons learned in the commission. That concludes our public comment. However, I would like to mention that all emailed and mailed public comments are provided to the commission before each meeting. Commissioners are also regularly review the public comment portal on our www.michigan.gov/MICRC website. We appreciate everyone who offers public comment in whatever way you choose and invite you to keep sharing your thoughts, especially if you'd like to share ways that the MICRC process or procedures have been good or could be more effective. Seeing that there is no unfinished business, we were going to move on to unfinished business, but there is none. We will move to new business. And may I suggest that my vice chair take it over? Would you like to facilitate the new business, please? Commissioner Witches.
Okay, so without objection, moving to new business item 6A, commission recognition. I'm going to turn it over to Director Woods III at this particular point in time.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, that sounds so weak. Good morning, everyone. That sounds a little bit better. We are excited on behalf of the commission to provide some recognition for those who have helped us draw fair maps with citizen input. I mean, that was the goal of this distinguished commission that you can see here in the room, present on the screen. And we are unfortunately missing 3 commissioners, but that would be Commissioner Rhonda Lang, Commissioner Brittany Cullum, and Commissioner Aaron Wagner. And the commission would like to thank you for all of your efforts that contribute to getting nearly 30,000 public comments. Let me say that again, nearly 30,000 public comments. Nearly 30,000 public comments. That was more than California the first time around, and then California only beat us by 24% the second time around, yet California is 4 times, let me say that again, 4 times the size of Michigan. So what we want to do is show a brief video, and then after the video, the commissioners will present to organizations and individuals right here in the middle in front of the projector screen with your certificate. And then you'll go over here and take your picture, and we'll just keep lining that up. We just want to reiterate, I know some of us did not agree with everything the commission did, and some even sued the commission. But the only reason you're being recognized today is for your contributions to assisting us in getting the nearly 30,000 public comments as it relates to that, and helping us fulfill our mission. We can respectfully agree to disagree, but we would never want to miss anyone that has played a part in getting the public comments. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and show you a video. Start it again. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. To kick off our celebration, we're going to ask, is the representative Hermana here from Michigan Municipal League? Okay. Kelly Kuhn, Michigan Nonprofit Association. All right, Kelly, Michigan Nonprofit, the presenting person will come in the middle, and you'll come right in front of this contraption right here. And then the person taking the picture with Commissioner Pastela and Kelly would need to be right there at the step and repeat banner. And that would be Dustin Witches. I'm sorry, MC Rothor. Presenting the AARP will be Commissioner Juanita Curry, and we're going to ask that their two representatives come to the front at this time from the AARP. And then Commissioner Eid, if you can be ready with APIA votes to present. Thank you. Presenting for the APIA votes and Rebecca Islam, Commissioner Eid, and Ms. Islam, please come to the front. And that will be followed by Commissioner Orton with campus vote. Campus vote, Landon Myers, please. Commissioner Eid, you'll wait for that picture. Thank you. Coming up next, the Commission for Middle Eastern American Affairs. I'm sorry, we'll skip to the Detroit Hispanic Latino Commission, and we will have Commissioner Pastela And then their commission, Consuelo. All right, excellent. I'm sorry, is this Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation? And then you're coming up next. You're Hispanic. Thank you. Then you'll be joined over there with Commissioner Rothhorn with that picture. The Disability Network, Commissioner Janice Villette. And I see there they are, Chip and Lauren are here. Oh, you got the commission. That's way better than me. All right, Commissioner Curry, you will join Commissioner Villette with the disability for the picture over here. Here presenting the Hispanic Latino Commission. Now it's their turn. I'm so sorry, Commissioner Consuelo Brown. And presenting that one will be, is that Commissioner Rothhorn or Commissioner Witch is filling in for Commissioner Kellum on that one? The Hispanic Latino Commission. All right.
Edward's doing a great job orchestrating this whole thing. Just so you know, this is a lot. It's all in there, and that so we appreciate Edward's work on this too.
Right, Commissioner Orton will join you for that picture. For image is Nani here? Nani? Nina, I'm sorry, yes, for the image. No one's here from image? Okay. Michigan League of Women Voters, Commissioner Witches. All right, and joining the two of you in that picture is Commissioner Zatella. Michigan 211, Commissioner Cynthia Orton and Emma. And with the Michigan 211, we Commissioner Villette joining them with that picture. Then Commissioner Weiss, Michigan AFL-CIO. All right. Happy to have Max Lewis with us today. Thank you, Max, for coming. Okay, Commissioner Rothhorn will present to the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, and is Mr. Andrew Brown here? All right. Right here in the middle, please. Lewis, I'm sorry. This is gotta be right here. All right, Commissioner Vallette will join you with the picture. Michigan League of Conservation Voters is Mark. I saw Mark earlier. There he is. Commissioner Witches, and then they'll have a picture joined with Commissioner Zatello. Next in the queue will be Commissioner Juanita Curry with the NAACP Michigan. Okay, Commissioner Curry will come up, and we're looking for Gina Stewart from the NAACP Michigan. And then joining you in the picture is Commissioner Weiss. And then Commissioner Vallette, Voters Not Politicians. And I see Connie Cook is here with us today. I'm taking the picture. Joining Commissioner Vallette for that picture will be Commissioner Rothhorn. Okay, let's see if we can make sure we have everyone covered. Michigan Municipal League, is Harsana Richards here? Excellent. Excellent. And Commissioner Orton will join you all in the picture there. All right, did Nada come from EMIT? Okay, great. Joining, presenting that will be Commissioner Weiss with EMIT. There we go. It's good to see you, Nada. Sorry, we'll take care of it. And taking the picture with Commissioner Weiss will be Commissioner Eade. All right, that will conclude our organizational part. And now we have the opportunity to recognize some individuals who are here today that have been very, very helpful. And the first one we would like to recognize is our great friend, formerly with the Michigan Department of State, now with AARP, the communications manager there, who's done a stellar job just making things happen. Can we give a warm welcome to Kathleen Simler? Presenting for Kathleen Summers, Commissioner Juanita Curry, and we're going to ask that our inaugural Executive Director, Sue Ann Hammersmith, to join at the Step and Repeat banner to take a picture with all of our individual honorees. If you guys don't know all that Kathleen did, you got to ask somebody. Kathleen was phenomenal.
All the minutes.
Yes.
A long time, very beginning. Yeah, we weren't all very good at speaking clearly. We got better.
Let's give Kathleen another appreciation. Thank you so much. It's nothing good like having young talent, infused talent to have ideas, sharpen perspective, and to make us better. And we are so excited that Mustafa Rasheed, a master's student at the University of Michigan, is in the house once again to help us. We want to celebrate Mustafa, and Commissioner Janice Willett will present him with his certificate. For a virtual presentation, we would like to welcome the one that kicked off the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. She's a law student at Stanford University, and we are so happy and excited for how Sally Marsh has got us started, and she's able to join us virtually from the sunshine of California. And here to present her certificate in a virtual experience is none other than Commissioner Cynthia Orton. You're going to get right there in the middle as if she's there, and we're going to put a hologram of Sally Marsh if we can, and let her beautiful smile. There she goes. Thank you so much, Sally. Sally, you can speak.
Thanks, everyone. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Sally.
Thank you so much. Todd Wright, is Todd Wright here? Oh, great. We're happy to have Todd Wright here. Here to present is Commissioner Richard Weiss. Todd Wright worked with agency services and did a lot to make sure the commission could get together. A lot of the unsung heroes that work with DTMB and MDOS to make sure that we have the technology, the equipment, and things behind the scenes. So we really want to thank Todd and others for all that they have done to make us functional in drawing fair maps. All right, and now we're going to ask that Commissioner Witches come and pick up a certificate as well as a display case, and we're going to ask that Yvonne Young. Yvonne Young is Yvonne Young? She's on a phone call. We will wait for Yvonne Young at a later time, but not a later date. How about that? It's always good to have an attorney as your friend. And we have a great attorney who has worked with us since the inception, providing sound legal advice. And we would like to welcome Michael Brady to the front. If you guys don't know Mike Brady, you're truly missing a treat, a wonderful individual. And I'm just happy for all that he's done to get us started, and just want to just present him with our appreciation. All right. If you ever want to boast of energy, some fun, some great music, but someone who's creative and worked hard behind the scenes, putting spreadsheets together, getting us organized, so much work that people may have no idea how much she contributes. She's been with us from day one and continues to be with us now. We're very fortunate to have Sarah Reinhart. Sarah, please come to the front. And Commissioner Rothorn. We'll present Sarah with her.
You had wonderful dance music takes to help us with the long slog when we were trying to put together maps.
You get to take a picture. We had an attorney, our general counsel, who was no holds barred, not afraid to mix it up with anyone. One of the things that we can say about Julianne Pastela is she is passionate, very passionate about legal, very passionate about public service. She's previously served in the Detroit, and the commission hired her, and she did an excellent job, stellar job getting us organized, our rules of procedures, stuff we didn't have. She put it together and has just been a valiant voice in terms of speaking forcefully, in terms of her convictions. And at this time, it is our distinct privilege and honor to welcome back our general counsel, our former general counsel, to thank her for what she has done in this historic effort for the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. Let us welcome Julianne Pastela. Give me the display case, please. And then I'm going to ask Commissioner Rothhorn, Commissioner Zatella, and Commissioner Witches to come for the next presentation. Commissioner Witches, if you can grab the flowers from the table at the front, and then Commissioner Zatella and Commissioner Rothhorn, if you can grab the certificate right there and come in the middle. And now we're going to ask our inaugural Executive Director, Sue Ann Hammersmith, to come to the front.
Robinson, one more time.
Sue has been with the commission from day one. She was the first hire. She has done way more than have been a culinary artist in terms of baking treats. She has done chair scripts that Julianne got us started with. She's got the budget, the finances, working behind the scenes, making sure the commissioners had everything they needed to be successful. She works tirelessly. She's not combative. She has an excellent professionalism in terms of her spirit. And the commission is very fortunate, as you heard on many occasions, grateful for all the things that Sue has done to get the commission to draw fair maps with citizen input. Can we give a warm welcome to Sue Ann Hammersmith? And then just to go back, we just want to thank each of the organizations, and I just didn't get a chance, but Access has been phenomenal. I see Rima is in the house and others. And I just want to make sure that we just really thank Access. They've been helpful in terms of our town hall meetings, getting things done. And we are just very, very grateful to Access and their efforts and their partnership. Thank you so much. AARP Michigan, we wanted to make sure seniors were involved, and Lisa Cooper and how her team, the volunteers, just excited that you are here and just able to be a part. And we are much better as a result of the volunteers, the outreach that you have done across the state to ensure seniors are included. APIA Votes, Rebecca Islam, just excited about the town halls and a lot of the things that you organized to get us going. Campus Vote, Landon, with our university partnership, was just excellent in the month of September, how we were able to get on college campuses and ensure that young people had an opportunity to raise their voices. Very appreciative of that. The Commission for Middle Eastern American Affairs, just very happy for that. And Alex and all that we were able to do to get that done. I just want to thank him for being a part of that. Detroit Hispanic Development Corporation. Oscar, you've been there from day one, and appreciate your counsel, your advice, and making sure we had opportunities to ensure that Spanish-speaking people could hear in their own language and understand how to engage. Very, very grateful for that. Disability Network of Eastern Michigan, Chip and Lauren just wanted to make sure that even people with disabilities had access to participate in democracy. You guys were very helpful and instrumental with that. The Hispanic Latino Commission, Commissioner, you guys have been there from day one, even in the transition. Thank you for the council advice and showing up. Nada, we just want to thank you. You guys did grassroots and door knocking to make sure people were aware of what was going on in the redistrict process. Sue Smith, League of Women Voters, when we did the cry out for virtual in a pandemic, you guys stepped up and made sure we had opportunities to go virtual all across the state. Just really want to thank you for that. Michigan 211, we were concerned about people that did not have access, where they were in rural areas and didn't have digital internet access, or where they were in urban areas. They could dial 211 and they could register them over the phone so they could speak at our public hearings. We just really want to thank 211 for being with us throughout the first round and second round of public hearings. Michigan AFL-CIO, Max is here, but definitely want to thank Connor. Connor was a constant presence on our community meetings, and just really appreciate all that he had to share in terms of getting the word out. Michigan Department of Civil Rights wanted to make sure that no communities were behind, and were very helpful and appreciative of that. The Michigan League of Conservation Voters, Mark was very consistent. We had town halls, different things, made sure that people were brought to the public hearings to have their voices heard, and really appreciate the outreach that they have done. Michigan Municipal League, you gave us opportunities to write to your members. When we were starting with our organizations in the beginning, Michigan Municipal League, Michigan Township Association, Michigan Association of Counties provided opportunities for us to present virtually to get the word out. So we greatly appreciate that. NAACP Michigan, all across the state, gave us opportunities to speak in a virtual place, and greatly appreciate those opportunities. And last but not least, Voters Now Politicians, networking, collaborating to make sure that the word got out all across the state about how you can participate, and also holding us accountable if they thought some things needed to be done to improve, making those suggestions in a constructive manner. We really appreciate the Voters Now Politicians. So can we give all of our organizations a round of applause as well? Now it looks like we can invite Yvonne Young to the front, finally. Hurry up, please. You're off the phone, so come in. Yes, please. All right, go ahead. We appreciate that swag and slow walk. And if our inaugural executive director, Sue Ann Hammersis, can join us at the Step and Repeat banner. We want to just thank Yvonne Young for all that she did. We needed some additional help, and MDOS was gracious to recruit Yvonne Young to help the commission so that we could have an excellent experience at our first and second round of public hearings. And we appreciate Yvonne and all that she has done, as well as the MDOS team. Thank you so much, Yvonne. You can slow walk over there. You take your picture. Let people see how it's done.
Thank you.
Rima, it's time for you to come up. We got accesses in the house. We don't want to forget access. We have this presentation for you just to thank you for all that you have done. And Commissioner Witches will take a picture along with Commissioner Rothorn with you at the Step and Repeat banner. Thank you so much. Okay, is Alex here? If Alex is not here, this will conclude. Oh, Alex is here. Good, Alex. Great. Middle Eastern American Affairs, and here to make this presentation is Commissioner Weiss. I'm sorry, Commissioner Eid, sorry. And Commissioner Curry, you'll join them with the picture over there. Go over there, take a picture, and then Commissioner Rothhorn, if you don't mind, if we could take a brief recess to let our guests go, but also thank them for coming, our Commissioner Witches. Someone can entertain a recess.
All right. Without objection, at this point in time, we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute recess. And I do want to thank every single one of you folks for coming out. 10 minutes? 10 minutes it is. Convene at 11:10 a.m. As Vice Chair of the Commission, I call the meeting back to order at 11:14 p.m. Will the Secretary please call the roll?
Hello, Commissioners. Please say present when I call your name. If you're attending today's meeting remotely, please let us know where you are attending from. Doug Clark.
Present. I'm attending the meeting remotely today from Huntington Beach, California.
Juanita Curry.
Present.
Anthony Eid.
Present.
Brittany Kellum. Rhonda Lang. Steve Lett.
President attending from Lee County, Florida.
Cynthia Orton.
Present.
MC Rothhorn.
Present.
Rebecca Satella.
Present.
Janice Follett.
Present.
Aaron Wagner. Richard Weiss.
Present.
Dustin Witches.
Present.
10 commissioners are present and there is a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Reinhart. Without objection, at this point, we're going to move back to item 4 on our agenda, public comment. Hearing none, individuals that signed up for live in-person public comment will now be allowed to do so. You'll have 2 minutes to address the commission, and I will call you by name. The first person to address the commission is Mr. Anthony Scannell.
Turn this on. Hello. Okay. Hi. Good to see you. Good morning. Okay. Start the clock. Last week there was something about a commissioner said, "I don't want to see a motion brought up again." And I think, particularly if they're watching remotely, I haven't been paying attention closely. I'm sorry, I had an electric wire down at my house. I've got a lot going on, but I hope the remote commissioners are watching. You have the right to bring up a motion or to discuss or to do whatever you want with your salary as many times as you see fit. So I would recommend you bring it up every time until, I don't know, I don't see how you can say, I don't want to see something brought up again. That's your right. So that's what I think. Not that I really care about the salary. It's kind of a moot point. Okay. And then last week we had a commissioner say, it kind of sounded like the start of a joke. We got a priest, a rabbi, and a preacher walk into a bar. They said, Obama, Schwarzenegger, and Holder love our maps. And I said, oh, that's interesting. But I don't think Obama, Schwarzenegger, Holder have ever lived or voted in Michigan. And I think they are promoting a ballot initiative to create more of you guys across the 50 states. So of course they're going to say you did a good job no matter what. Just going to say that. Not to say, I'm a Michigander and I know how I feel about your maps. I've heard other Michiganders, including retiring members of Congress, how they feel about your maps. So it's out there. It's in the public record. And then what was the last thing? I was leaving off last week. I got cut off. I said something about the two parties and the advantage. I wish you guys would stop voting for the two parties. And, we got two parties that are so good in this state of Michigan, they have to write their advantage into the laws, including in your commission, including two major parties defined. So we got a real sad system. And I was going to take this Michigan Department of Transportation map and rip it up, but I'm not really.
Thank you for addressing the commission. At this point, we'll return back to new business. Without objection, we're going to discuss new business item B, release responses for all public records requests. Hearing no objection, I will have Commissioner Rebecca Satella lead this discussion.
Hi. So I did ask about this a couple of weeks ago. I asked to have it added on the agenda and it got pushed a few times. I didn't really want to get into the issue of releasing all public records. I'm really just focused on the public records that were released in response to the settlement agreement that we entered into in the Wagner case. And I really think, one, in terms of transparency, two, in terms of enabling our allies who have been helping us in the litigation we've had against us, because we have done this very large public records production that frankly, the person requesting it didn't pay for because we had a settlement agreement with them. The people of the state of Michigan paid for it. I think in the interest of transparency, we should consider releasing those documents that have already been produced and just putting them out on our website along with other documents we have out there. And so that was what I wanted to discuss. I know we kind of touched on the concept of releasing everything, but I really just want to focus on that one narrow issue. In the interest of transparency, potentially putting those out there for everyone to have a copy of.
Chair Rothman?
Oh,
Define the narrow issue again, what you want to focus on.
so we had a FOIA request from Commissioner Wagner's lawyer, where she requested a rather broad set of documents. We had a lawsuit over that. There was a settlement agreement entered into between the commission and Commissioner Wagner. And there's been a rolling production of those documents over the last month. I believe mid-April was when they were going to finally be produced. So my proposal is, because in the interest of transparency, and then also because this is a unique situation where the person requesting it hasn't paid for it, that was one of the objections raised before, that, well, it's not fair if someone pays $100 for a FOIA request to give it to everybody. But in this situation, we don't have that, because as part of the settlement agreement, we agreed that there would be no cost for the production, which means the people of the state of Michigan paid for that production, because there still is a time cost associated with having people go through documents, redact them, determine what's to be produced. And so my proposal, and I'll actually make a motion on this, is for us to publicly post on our website all of the documents that were released pursuant to that FOIA request and the order that we enter, the stipulated settlement order that we entered into with Aaron Wagner.
Commissioner Wise?
I guess my only question is, do we need a legal opinion from Mr. Brady or our legal lawyers to release this?
My understanding is because it's been reviewed by the like, I think there has been some review, maybe it, yeah. And I guess I'm tempted to second it, but I want to make sure that I don't want, I'm also a chair, so I don't want to.
You can.
Okay, but maybe Mr. Brady, do you want to chime in before I second?
Good morning. Mike Brady with the Michigan Department of State. So I don't see a legal issue. The release of all documents without review would be problematic. As a lawyer who, I've been working in FOIA and experience with that, but I'll say even more particularized to the documents that were requested and have been produced and will be produced pursuant to these FOIAs. I reviewed it, and often, frankly, most of the material that has been redacted is material that includes as commissioners, your personal information, including medical things and other things as well, things going on with your families, your personal cell phone, other things along those lines. That's absolutely appropriate with FOIA to be redacted. It's standard practice to redact that. And again, for those reasons, it would be inappropriate to release it without doing the redaction. But once it's been reviewed and that information's been redacted, it is now a public document that has also been redacted where personal information's been removed. And so, yeah, with that being said, on the particular question before us from Commissioner Pastela, I don't have any legal concern there.
Commissioner Roth?
So I will second it, and I will say in particular, because I'm thinking about the lessons learned that the second person who gave us public comment today said that, that they really appreciated this. They didn't say radical transparency, but that transparency that we were required to do because there was a Supreme Court case that said, nope, you can't do that, right? So that kind of upper level of the threshold of transparency. So it feels like this could be, right, like you said, Rebecca, we paid for it, or the people of Michigan paid for it. It feels like it could be a very transparent way to proceed, and it's been reviewed, and it's a very specific thing. So I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to release the FOIA documents that were given to Aaron Wagner's lawyer. Is there any discussion or debate on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor? Commissioner Clark.
I've got a question for that. Are there any other FOIA requests that individuals did not pay for that we should also post publicly?
There have been other FOIA requests. We received one recently from, I think it was Honigman Law Firm. This would be the second of this style. Sometimes this happens within government where someone will FOIA the FOIAs and just say, we're curious to see what people are FOIAing. So can you please let us know what the other FOIA requests were? That is, the nature of that doesn't really require any sort of review, and it doesn't, so it's easy to go out. We don't charge anything. Our goal is always to get it out as quickly as possible and as cheaply as possible. Because otherwise any staff time is really paid for by the people of Michigan. So again, there are other requests along those lines. There may very well have been other FOIA requests along those same lines that General Counsel Pastela would have processed last year. So there may be a way to go back through her emails or to understand other, but I can't speak with specificity to prior requests. I can just speak to, let's say, the last couple months that the Department of State has taken this responsibility back over at the request of the commission.
Yeah, the point I was getting to was, should we treat all those people that did not pay anything equally and post theirs as well? And that may be a massive task. Well,
Mike.
Through the chair, forgive me, commissioners, until I see your hand. I do have a comment as well. Please go.
I was going to say, don't people who typically request FOIA requests have to pay? Like, this was unusual in that there was a settlement agreement and we agreed that there would be no charge. But I thought all FOIA requests typically you have to pay.
So through the chair, response to that would be not all FOIA requests do you have to pay. So FOIA is written in a way, part of a referred to as sunshine laws, right up there with the Open Meetings Act. The idea that we, the people of Michigan, have a right to know what our government is doing. We have a right to ask for records and to review these records. And so we are allowed to request to see public records, and basically anything that's done by the government would be potentially a public record. There are certain exemptions to that, like personal information or ongoing law enforcement investigations, et cetera. That's all laid out in the law. If we can process it without a fee, it's just kind of a minimal amount of time. Minimal can add up, of course, but nonetheless, if we can process it without a fee, then we do. And the vast majority of FOIA requests from our Department of State, and this is true, I think I have every reason to believe that this is true across governments at every level in Michigan, including other departments in the state of Michigan, that they don't charge when they don't need to. That said, there are sometimes requests where someone will contact us, and this happens regularly, where someone will say, like, I got a question about the commission. Can I see all communications that the commission had dating back to October or September 17th of 2020, when it was first convened? We want to see every single email that went to or from. Now, that's a lot of material. And so we'll write back and say, it's going to be a cost for that, because you're talking about, over a year and a half of correspondence. And frankly, every time an email was sent out, it's sent out to 13 commissioners. So you're kind of multiplying that out 13 times. And so there's legitimately a need to review that. And so we'll give back a fee. Now, the serious folks will come back and say, oh, yeah, I really don't need to see a year and a half. I'm actually really interested in communications between, I don't know, Edward Woods III and Commissioner Richard Weiss. And I'm actually interested in seeing that between, July and August of 2021. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let me refine the search. And then in refining the search, we say, actually with those two people with that time frame, you're talking about 20 emails. 20 emails, we can knock that off. It probably won't cost anything. If it costs something, it might be very nominal, whatever that is. So that's how FOIA is intentionally structured in Michigan, and that's how it plays out. The thing about FOIA is that once the review has been done, then there's not a basis for charging someone else for the same request. So whether we post these documents proactively on the website in the way that Commissioner Pastela calls for, and frankly, to be clear, some governments are in the practice of doing that because then they don't have repeat FOIAs. Whether we post it on the website proactively or simply wait and someone else comes in and says, and you see this a lot as well, or I see this a lot as well within FOIA, where the Free Press, Bridge Magazine, someone else, they know that Commissioner Wagner's lawyer filed a lawsuit, submitted the FOIA, filed the lawsuit. All of that was public record. The settlement was all done in public. So they'll come in and say, oh, you're done. We're submitting a FOIA for exactly the same thing. And at that point, we don't have a basis for charging someone else for it because there's nothing else to review. If they ask for exactly the same thing, then you're talking about public records that have already been reviewed and redacted to remove the personal private information that is really at issue in that particular production. And so that happens all the time. And you'll see this, open the newspaper, read any article about government. And what's really going on behind that is FOIAs. And once one, media outlet gets the story, and forgive me, I'm going on a little bit, but it's going to be general education to the public. Once, let's say the Detroit Free Press or the Detroit News, once one entity submits the FOIA, it is absolutely common to have 4 or 5 other ones submit the exact same FOIA and say, we want that too. And who pays? Whoever does it first. And that's just how that works.
Commissioner Pastela.
I mean, in light of that, because my understanding was the concern was about it's not fair for the first person paying. If that's the practice in the state of Michigan, then I'd honestly be in favor of releasing everything that's been FOIA'd and already produced and just putting it on the website so it's already out there. And I'm happy to amend the motion to clarify that if you're still willing to second it, MC.
Yes.
Through the chair.
Okay, Mike Brady.
Thank you again. So that all makes sense. The one thing, if the commission were to adopt this and have it do it, I would just note that it would take some time for us to go back. I don't immediately have access, but I believe that we can gain access to General Counsel Pastela's emails to see the different FOIA responses, to gather that information and to put that information on the website. That will actually, at this point, present an administrative, frankly, burden. But I don't believe that that's going to be something that is a huge concern for us, given the larger commitment from our department and to support the commission and to transparency. I just want to note, though, that it will take some time to actually go through and again, gain access. And once we've got those emails, then get them on the website. That would just be the only thing.
Commissioner Orton.
In light of all this discussion, instead of just having this be a one-time thing from here back, wouldn't it make more sense if this is the direction we want to go to just change our procedure policy to just make anything that's FOIA'd then public? And then that would give our staff time to do that on an ongoing basis.
So if that's the case, don't we need to have to make a notice that we're going to change our rules of procedure and then have to redline it, and then we can take care of the whole thing all in one swoop?
I believe so.
That is correct.
I think that would work going forward, but I see that as being a separate issue of the ones that are already produced. So I'd still like to see a vote on this motion, and then we can look at having the rules changed moving forward, and that will solve the problem going forward.
Okay, so let's take Commissioner Eden, sorry.
I would be more in favor of the original motion as it was stated, to be more tailored towards the documents that were already produced in the settlement agreement. I don't want to cause administrative burden more than it needs to be. And I think we can do those rule changes to fix the issues in the future.
Does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be that big of a burden. There weren't that many FOIAs, honestly. I think it was less than 25 that we had total. So I don't think it's that big of a lift, honestly. And a lot of them were denied as being privileged from the outset. So there wouldn't be anything produced for those at all. And there is actually, General Counsel Pastela did have an Excel spreadsheet specifically listing all her FOIAs that's been shared with every single one of us. And it specifically says which ones were denied. So I think we're talking about less than 10 FOIA requests here. I don't think it's a big lift at all. And I do know as part of her departure as well, her inbox was shadowed and shared with the current executive director. So it is accessible and available. That was planned for as part of her departure, just as a continuity principle.
Okay, so the motion that we're going to be voting on now is to release all previous FOIA requests, including the FOIA request from Aaron Wagner's lawyer, correct?
I would clarify, it's the documents produced in response to the FOIA request.
Documents produced in response to the FOIA request. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, let's take a vote. All in favor, raise your hand and say yay.
Yay.
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry.
Steve had his hand too.
Yep.
All opposed, same sign.
6-4.
6-4 is what I count. Vote, and the motion carries with a vote of 6-4.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend our rules of procedure going forward to mandate the posting of all responses to FOIA requests.
Motion and a second to amend our rules of procedure to be noticed and discussed and brought to us at the next meeting. All in favor, please raise your, sorry, is there any discussion or debate on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries with 1 nay. All right. Without objection, we'll move now to new business item C, request an audit from the Office of Auditor General. Hearing no objection, I will ask Director Woods to present this agenda item.
Okay, at our, it's not letting me do it. Hold on, stop. Let's do it this way. At our last meeting, we talked about having on the item of the agenda, an audit from the Office of Auditor General. In the Constitution, it says that we may be subject to an audit from the Office of Auditor General. So just being proactive, knowing that we have one of our core values is transparency. It's just going ahead and just requesting an audit of our finances and our financial procedures in terms of how we procured things, how we paid things, and just asking them to do that from October 1, 2020, which was the beginning, all the way through March 31st, 2022.
Chair Rothorn. Commissioner Pastela.
I move to adopt resolution 2022-03-14, request audit from the Office of the Auditor General for the time period October 1, 2020 through March 31, 2022.
Second.
Yeah.
So we got a motion and a second on the resolution 2022.03.14. Is there any discussion or debate on the motion? Commissioner Orton.
Yeah, so since everything we did was public and our budget was public and everything, I don't understand what an audit will show. I don't understand why an audit would need to take place, and will it cost the taxpayers money?
Director Woods.
No, it won't cost taxpayers money at all. That's part of their job with regards to that. So it's just a third-party analysis in terms of the work that the actual commission has done. So it's just, once again, showing us to be open, showing us to be transparent. As you mentioned, everything is done, everyone sees it, but having them go back and document our rules or procedures and how we followed our practices as relates to spending of expenditures.
Commissioner Zotella.
I just think it will be helpful because we're going back to the legislature to ask for more money. And their first response is going to be, have you been responsible with what you've spent to date? And I think if we have this audit done, it pre-assumes the question and provides an immediate response that, yes, we have been responsible with the money that we've been afforded under the current budget. So I think that's really kind of the point, is to sort of help us defend ourselves in front of the legislature when we ask for more money.
Commissioner Orton.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm not against it. I just think it's kind of odd to audit something that's already been public the entire time. I just don't understand that.
They do that with other departments as well, with stuff that's been public the entire time. So it's really the will of the commission, but other departments have been audited. You know, you've heard in the news about Unemployment Insurance Agency and its audit by the Office Auditor General. So it's really up to the will of the commission as to whether or not they want to do it. If they request it, then we have to comply. And so this is just more of a proactive move and saying, hey, come and audit us, check us out. And with regards to that, instead of waiting to see whether or not we'll be audited at all. So once again, the will of the commission.
Commissioner Clark.
Yeah, my personal opinion is I think it's a good thing, and I think it's an excellent business practice, and that we should move forward with it.
Commissioner Rothman.
And because we're trying to figure out how we're going to go dormant, we're trying to figure out how to sort of stop business as usual. It feels important to do this while we're still here, so to speak, so we can respond to it rather than, not be able to respond.
Any other discussion or debate on the motion? Okay. So we have a motion and a second, motion by Commissioner Zotella, seconded by Commissioner Eid, that the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission hereby authorize the executive director to request an audit from the Office of Auditor General from October 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2022. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. At this point, we are going to move on to new business item 6D, process to cancel meetings. Without objection, I will have Director Woods present this item. Hearing none, please proceed.
Thank you. Process to cancel meetings. As you discussed previously about amending rules or procedure, we have to have a notification process. And so what we're asking here to do is just more or less a notification of it. And then we would actually do the same thing we're doing for the public records request at the next meeting. And this is according to amending rules of procedure, section 14.2 as relates to amendments. Once again, another section coming out of amending rules of procedure in terms of the process the commission has to follow. Currently, our cancellation of meetings in section 5.4 of our rules of procedure says, if any meeting or public hearing of the commission must be canceled, a notice of cancellation shall be posted on the commission website as soon as practicable prior to the canceled meeting or public hearing. But it doesn't tell you who has the authority to cancel the meeting. It just tells you this is how you notify, but it doesn't tell you who has the authority. For our special meetings, it says special meetings of the commission may be scheduled by a majority of the vote of the commission during a meeting or may be called by the chairperson, vice chairperson, or the executive director with not less than a 5-hour notice. And so what we would like to propose today is for the cancellation of a meeting to replace section 5.4 to read, the commission may cancel a meeting by a majority vote of the commission during a meeting or by the chairperson, vice chairperson, or the executive director with not less than a 24-hour notice. And then we would add section 5.41 and call it a cancellation of a meeting notification. If any meeting or public hearing of the commission must be canceled, a notice of cancellation shall be posted on the commission website 24 hours prior to the canceled meeting or public hearing. If there's any questions, I can take them at this time.
Commissioner Clark.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable approach. It's really a clear approach and concise and make things go quickly. And I think it's in our best interest to move forward with something like this.
Mike Brady.
Hello again. So I discussed this with Executive Director Woods, and we definitely think it makes sense. The one note caution that I might offer is the language where it says with not less than a 24-hour notice. And so certainly you'd want it to be as soon as practicable, as soon as you know that, if it's an instance where it's not needed, particularly as the commission looks at its work, moving forward at this particular point. So with like ongoing litigation, the commission will still be around, but the nature of that litigation doesn't frankly have, as has been well discussed, doesn't have many agenda items for the commission. So if it's May, we might come up and say, look, this doesn't really make sense to have this meeting. So you reach out, you've got plenty of advance notice for that. So you'd certainly give the advance notice. There could also very well be, and I think we've probably come across something close to this, where either for health reasons at certain points in the past that I think for the most part, the commission was able to sidestep, if there's lack of quorum, if there were technological issues. We rely on our AV support, and if the AV support contacted us at 5 a.m. this morning and said, some string of unfortunate events that, had us not able to conduct this meeting, then it might still need to be canceled. I don't know. I'm not sure it makes sense to speculate about all the different, so it's just about the, 24-hour notice. And the fact is things happen, as we know. And so the most important gap that Mr. Woods and I had identified was in the not having clarity as to who is able to determine whether the meeting must be canceled, which is the language. And this certainly addresses that. And so I just don't know about the 24-hour notice or whether you say like as soon as practicable, because of course everyone would want to know that as soon as possible.
Commissioner Rothorn.
Director Woods, I wonder if we can just say, because I think we're going to need a motion if we're going to make this happen, right? Yeah.
It's coming back the next time we meet, so we can make the adjustment that Mr. Brady is requesting.
Excellent.
I
Okay.
just know that when we had our dialogue, we wanted people to know as soon as possible with regards to the conversation with Commissioner Rothorn and Commissioner Witches in terms of giving people time to travel or plan. But in light of that, if we can just say practicable, I'm assuming you don't want any time associated with it. So if it's 5 minutes before, it's just unfortunately 5 minutes before. Correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the good thing is we're virtual now, so no one is coming. So that's the good news. And then I think we need to look at if we happen to have an in-person meeting, we just have to do the best we can. So we can make that adjustment and bring it back to the next meeting.
Any other discussion on this agenda item? Okay. Without objection, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, approval of minutes of March 24th, 2022. This meeting was held via Zoom and the draft minutes have been provided to the commission before the meeting and are posted on our website. Are there any edits or additions or changes to these meeting minutes? May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Motion made by Commissioner Orton, seconded by Commissioner Eve. Any discussion or debate on the motion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. On the approval of the minutes, all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Without objection, we're going to move on to staff reports, and we do have a staff report from our Executive Director Woods. Without objection, please proceed, Mr. Woods.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to thank in the transition. Sue Hammersmith is here, making sure I didn't screw up your time. I knew that would be a fireable offense. And so I really wanted to make sure that the time and everyone, to my knowledge, has gotten paid on time. So I was grateful. So thanks, Sue, for your help in the transition. Really grateful for that. Legislative Services Bureau, Lori and Janelle have been great, working with them, as well as Kelly Services and working with Rebecca. So really grateful for that. The commission report, Commissioner Lett will speak about it later, but it's being reviewed by our attorneys. So just want to share that with you. The House General Government Appropriations Subcommittee is coming up a week from Tuesday at 10:30 at the House Office Building. We're making a request before that committee for a brief presentation. I will share you the link as well as the address, just in case you may be interested in coming at 10:30 with regards to that. The lessons learned report and videos in its finest stages. They're still writing the draft. I think they've talked to everyone now. They had some couple challenges, but they talked to everyone. Then the report, and then it'll go to the video, which we'll make sure is reviewed by attorneys. We have archive boxes for storage, and you have to use the boxes, and they're required. So if you have other boxes that you're using, you need to get boxes. We have them here. And I want to thank Commissioner Witches for helping me, get those inside today. So you can get them, take them home. But just want to be very clear. If you've used your own boxes, that's a problem. So please use the boxes. And thanks to the great work of MDOS, we were able to find some boxes complimentary. So they didn't cost the commission anything. So we have some boxes here. So please take them to pack your files. And then upcoming presentations, the Area Agency on Aging Association is just interested in learning more about the commission. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks, as well as the Michigan Society of Association of Executives. So that's what's happening. I want to thank each and every one of you as I transition to make sure that we don't miss a beat, for your patience and your kindness. If there's anything I can do better or suggestions, please feel free to give me a call, text, or email, and I do respond. So thank you again.
Commissioner Rothorn.
Director Woods, should we, so I have binders for, what I'm thinking about is the archive boxes, and will you help us know how to use the box, or what special, should we anticipate, can I anticipate sort of getting learned or taught how to do it, or what to do, keep it in my binder or not keep it in my binder?
We will give you feedback on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Director Woods. Moving on to agenda item 9, our legal liaison report, which I do believe we have one. Without objection, I'll ask Commissioner Lett to make a brief statement on his report. Are there any objections? Seeing none, please proceed, Commissioner Lett.
Thank you, Commissioner Witches. I did have a meeting with the Fink Law Firm, and we went over what the current state is as it pertains to several of the lawsuits. First would be Benarian, which the court ruled that they would not grant an injunction preventing the districts from going into effect as we had voted on. So that lawsuit continues, however, simply because the court said, no, we're not going to give you an injunction does not mean that no, your suit does not have any merit whatsoever, though it is unlikely that they will prevail given the current status. However, they can certainly proceed, they can have discovery, and we'll see where that one goes. The what's called the AG lawsuit is similar to the Michigan Supreme Court case, though it's filed in the Western District of Federal Court. It will be assigned to the same panel as Benarian, so it is unlikely that they will be any more successful than Benarian was. I did get a message, I assume everybody got it today, that the AG plaintiffs have filed a first amended complaint. This is nothing particularly unusual. They have, under the court rules, the ability to do that. They have done so, and we will have Fink and Baker respond appropriately once the time for responding is there. Everybody has not been served. If you wish to be served personally, let Nate Fink know. If you wish to authorize him to accept service, which I would recommend you do, then make sure you let him know that if you haven't already done so. The Director Woods indicated I would comment on the minority reports and the report that is being prepared. The only comment I have is the attorneys are reviewing all of those as it pertains to what is contained therein. Make sure that that they know what's coming as it pertains to how they respond in the lawsuits, not to edit or revise them in any manner. There's also some discussion regarding ending of commissioners' terms. I know Attorney Brady, as well as the Fink Law Firm, have been discussing that. There are certain considerations to be given. Nothing that we haven't already, quite honestly, talked about, and how are we going to end? And it's not clear. There'll be some more discussion on that end, on their end, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. That's really an update, brings you up to date on where these cases are. There's nothing overly new about any of them. We'll just see where they go. At the present time, the AG case has not asked for an injunction to prevent the maps from going into effect. Doesn't mean they couldn't ask for one later, but at the present time, they're not doing that. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Commissioner Rothorn. Just appreciation. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, moving on to agenda item 10, Michigan Department of State updates. Without objection, I will ask either Mike Brady or Sarah Reinhart to give us an update if they have one. Seeing none, please proceed, Mr. Brady or Ms. Reinhart.
Through the chair, thank you. The one update I believe that we have at the Department of State just relates to some of the FOIA responses that we've been working on. Wanted to let the commission know that as of yesterday afternoon, we have fully complied with and produced all of the documents requested in the Wagner-Granda FOIA/lawsuit settlement. And so that is now complete. Special thanks to Megan DeBerg, your paralegal, and thank you for providing her the additional hours that we had requested to be able to move through and make sure we had sufficient time to give it appropriate review. So that's an update. Glad to have that particular public record request completed. There's another one that's open and ongoing. It's from the Free Press from Claire Hendrickson, and that's coming more recently, but working through that also with your paralegal, Megan DeBerg. And so we're anticipating production, maybe next week, certainly by the week after that. That is all. Thank you.
Ms. Reinhart, anything? All righty. All right, correspondence received in advance of our meeting today was provided along with the written public comments to the commissioners in our meeting materials. Are there any agenda items that commissioners would like to have added to future meetings? Seeing none, are there any announcements? All righty. As the items on the agenda are completed and the commission has no further business, the motion to adjourn is in order. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
You may, sorry. I'll second that. So moved.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Eads, seconded by Commissioner Rothorn. Is there any discussion or debate on the motion? Seeing none, go ahead and vote. All in favor to adjourn, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned at 11:59 a.m.